Tommy, is a guy that was forced into action last year and played well in some moments. And then this year kind of goes back in the background. But it seemed like he stepped up in a pretty big way Saturday. It's a couple of really nice punts. What's he been like throughout this process, and how did you feel like he did Saturday?
First off, I was super proud of the way he played on Saturday. I thought he might have had one of the more critical plays in the game. He fielded a bad snap and at a point in time where we did not have momentum there in the second quarter, and he's able to get off a really good punt that flipped over the field position. So I thought he had a huge impact on the game. In terms of how he's been as a player this year, he's been an incredible teammate. I know he had high expectations, obviously, coming into the year in terms of competing to win the job. It didn't play out that way, and he's done everything in his power to be a good teammate, be the best holder he could be, support Alex and everything that he's done. I couldn't be happier for Tommy that he had the opportunity in what might have been his last game at home to go out there and perform well.
I didn't get to see a replay of it, but on that play, I thought it was going to get blocked for sure, and then ended up being a boomer. I mean, how many times have you watched it? How did that play out, and how did he get such a good kick on it?
Sometimes when guys don't think too much and they just have the ability to react and put their make contact and put their foot on the ball, you end up getting a result like that. Obviously, we don't like that to happen, but Grant's been pretty consistent all year long. Obviously, that wasn't a very good snap for him. And Tommy did a great job fielding it and made the best of what was potentially going to be a really bad situation. So, the timing of how it all played out, Duke was in an all-out block. Tommy fielded it perfectly, got the ball off, and it was really a critical situation in the game. It was 28-21 at that point, where if you get a kick block in that scenario, the momentum really would have totally, I think, shifted at that point. So I think that was one of the going to go down as probably forgotten in most people's minds in terms of key plays in the game, but I thought it was a really pivotal moment.
The next question will be Aslan Hazanandi from Warchant.
Coach, I guess in an ideal world, like you want competition and depth at all your positions so that the guys have to earn their playing time, but this has not been an ideal season. When you do put young guys out there in positions and they might not be ideally ready, suited for it, is there like a fear that you could possibly mentally break them, or is this actually kind of like a silver lining throwing guys out there just because you have like no other option and kind of really see what they're made of?
Well, first of all, I think that's a great question. Because you do battle with that. You want to, anyone you put on the field, you want to make sure they're prepared for the moment and the opportunity that they have. Speaking in the cases of the defensive ends first, everyone that we put on the field, even the young guys, we felt like we're prepared to go out there and perform at a high level, even though we know as a freshman or as a redshirt freshman, there's going to be a learning curve. In terms of special teams, it's really, along those same lines. You put a guy in like, for example, J.R. McCluster went in the other day. We felt like throughout the course of the week in practice, he had done a nice job on the kickoff coverage, and he went down there and made a great play. And, you got to give guys an opportunity to perform to see if they're really ready for it. But that's what we use the week of practice, for is to determine, if a guy's really ready to go out there and go in a real live situation and try to balance that decision-making as best as we possibly can.
It looked like the ends, Janaris and Josh also, had some moments where they made plays after the initial surge. I mean, not necessarily just getting upfield, but plays downfield and things like that. Is the overall effort getting to where it needs to be at that position?
It's absolutely getting closer. I think as we continue, part of this process, and with us being a new staff this year, is setting the expectation and the standard. And then, every week when we meet that expectation, or in cases that we don't, getting it corrected so it continues to improve as the year goes on. And that's been a constant learning and growing process for us as a whole team. What is the standard? What are the expectations? And then finding opportunities in the game to point out the positive where guys are meeting those standards and expectations, but also at the same time pointing out opportunities when guys are not. And that way, those are teachable and learnable moments for everybody. So I thought the effort was improving. Are we there yet? No, we're not. We're not at our ceiling yet, but we're getting closer to where we want to be.
All right. Thank you, Coach.
Thank you, guys.
Oh, wait, sorry. Ira, at the buzzer. Ira's going to do one more.
I actually had the same thing happen. I was trying to buzz in for Adam at the end, and I couldn't get it to work. But and so you're getting his question. What Wake Forest has had some games this year where they've really put up some big points. They've had some shootouts offensively. What challenges do they present, particularly for your position, I guess, but defensively?
Just big picture wise, they're skilled all the way around. You know, I think they have wideouts that are productive, but within the system also have opportunities to make a lot of plays. I think it starts with the quarterback. I think he does a really nice job. He understands how to distribute and where to go with the ball. And then they have talent at running back, you know. So, and I know there's been some moving pieces, just like with every team in the country in terms of who's in the lineup and who isn't. But when they're hitting on all cylinders, they're good in every aspect offensively, and they're dangerous in terms of being able to put points in and yards up at a rapid pace. So we know we're going to have have our hands full, but we're excited about the opportunity to have one more chance in this regular season anyway to compete. So, I think our guys will be locked and loaded, ready to go.
Okay. Thank you, Coach.